NFL. We are 50 hours away from kickoff between the Super Bowl champs, the Eagles, hosting the Cowboys. The Micah Parsons trade has put the focus on Big D, but Philly's favored by over a touchdown. Eagles also tied with the Ravens for the shortest odds to win the Super Bowl. And our reporters are on the scene with much more. Sal Palantonio covering the Super Bowl champs. That is those Eagles, and Todd Archer is with the Cowboys. Sal Pal, let's start with you. You were at practice today. You know what it's like when it's Eagles-Cowboys week. What are the Eagles talking about as they prepare for their rivals?
And you, Kevin Nagandi, you grew up here. You know what Dallas week is all about in Philadelphia. But you put aside the pageantry and the mayhem of all of that, and it comes down to Jalen Hurts, the Super Bowl MVP. Spent the offseason with Michael Jordan, going through the concepts of sustained success, going through the pains of training camp with his new offensive coordinator, Kevin Patullo, trying to find his way without A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, for the most part, on the field due to injuries during the summer. Now has to face the new defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus of the Dallas Cowboys, while channeling the message, the new message of Nick Sirianni, which is contribution over credit. Listen to Sirianni talk about his quarterback.
I love how selfless he is, right? He's been so efficient as a quarterback, taking care of the football, efficient of going where the right place with the football. And then there's judgment on the outside of, well, he didn't throw for this many yards or didn't throw for this many touchdowns. I don't care. He was efficient with the football, and he did everything he needed to do for us to win the game. That doesn't just apply with your star football player and Jalen Hurts. That also applies for the rest of the team.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime event. Just think about this. The last time the Dallas Cowboys came into Philadelphia to play the Eagles week 1 of an NFL season, it was 55 years ago, 1970. That was at the University of Pennsylvania campus at Franklin Field. I remember Todd Archer way back when. How about you, brother?
I don't remember that one. Maybe Brian Schottenheimer does. But, you know, Sal, the Cowboys' first-year head coach, he's been waiting an awful long time for this moment to come. His goal when he got into this was to be the NFL's youngest head coach. Well, he's now 51. It's year 26 that he's been an assistant coach, year 1 as a head coach. I asked Schottenheimer today, how much time have you spent preparing your speech for your players that you'll give before the game?
It's funny, I actually caught myself doing this the other day, our bonus Monday. I kind of called the team up, and I kind of got a little fiery and excited about, you know, playing the Eagles and, you know, prime time and all that stuff. And I went to bed that night. I was like, what are you doing? Like, you know better than that. Every game we play is just another championship opportunity. It's just another championship opportunity. We get a chance to go out there against the Eagles. You don't get extra credit for beating the Eagles in Philly on prime time than you do for beating the Giants at noon in AT&T Stadium. So what I don't want these guys to do, and I think the coaches are a big part of this, is go in there and try so hard. Oh, we're playing the Eagles. I'm going to do so hard. They're going to make mistakes if they do that. Play free. It's football. Fly around.
Well, Schottenheimer will be emotional. Heck, he said he was emotional, almost brought to tears before the Cowboys' first preseason game. And now he's ready for this moment. I talked to him recently, a few days ago, about what he will feel going into this game. He said he's always emotional. He said he talks to 2 people during the national anthem, God and his father, Marty. He hopes he's making his dad proud, and he asks him for courage to help lead his players. Marty Schottenheimer last coached in the NFL in the 2006 season for the Chargers. His last game was January 14th, 2007, a playoff loss to the Patriots. And now, Kevin, 6,808 days later, his son is finally getting his chance.
And knowing Marty, he's certainly proud of his son, of course. Keep this in mind, the Cowboys are right now 8.5-point underdogs. Todd, thank you so much.
Let's keep the Thursday night opener going with our guy. We got off the reservation and he's still here. It's giving Stage 5 clean.
Yeah, you guys dragged me from Bristol here?
Yeah, we got you all the way here.
Yeah, thanks.
You weren't kicking or screaming, though.
Welcome for that.
Yeah.
Listen, honestly, Cowboys fans may be kicking and screaming. 8.5-point dog seems to belie that the oddsmakers don't really think this is going to be close.
Sure.
How does Dak's part of the team keep this thing close?
2 things. One, take advantage of the unknown. there's a reality that the Eagles defense, while they have rules of how they're going to operate, there's an unknown of what Brian Schottenheimer's Dallas offense is going to look like. So can you use some no huddle? Can you use some tempo to maybe throw different formations, different personnel groupings, different shifts and motions against the Eagles defense that doesn't know who you are? Brian Schottenheimer talked about all offseason of we want to be more modern and use all the offensive schemes that are a part of the NFL. Well, the Eagles don't know exactly what that's going to be. And then I think Quinyon Mitchell, who's going to play corner opposite him, it sounds like the veteran Adoree Jackson. You got to throw the ball down the field versus that guy. Defensively, the Eagles are still going to be one of the best units. But I would, if I was Dallas, make that corner opposite Quinyon Mitchell, defend the ball down the field. I would take at least 3 shots in the game and try to hit 2 of them down the field.
You see the numbers. Dak has done exceptionally well. Not the record, but again, 10 touchdown passes, no INTs in 6 road games against Philly. On the other side, the defense, all the conversation for the Cowboys, no Micah Parsons, but there are certain weaknesses you may see in that Eagles offense in week 1.
Yeah.
Where can the defense of Dallas exploit that?
All they got to do is stop the run. No, I'm just.
Is that it? That's it.
Channeling to Jerry. This is a tough start for this defense without their best player. Number 1, this is somewhat of a banged up and or new interior offensive line for the Eagles. Landon Dickerson, who seemed to have full practice today, is coming off the preseason injury. And then Mekhi Becton, their massive right guard, is no longer there. So can that interior part of the Cowboys defense create some tackles for loss to try to gain some form of advantage? And maybe some of those young players like Ezra Rocco can get after the quarterback. And then, I mean, Kev, you know this. Jalen Hurts was phenomenal in a lot of areas last year. Throwing over the middle of the field versus zone defense was not something that he did often or he did comfortably. Under Matt Eberflus, the new defensive coordinator, can the Cowboys force Jalen to throw the football over the middle of the field with zone eyes and see if they can maybe get a PBU or an interception to help that defense? But it's a massive challenge on the road.
Really quickly as well, what's the key to Taylor Fritz beating Novak Djokovic tonight?
Yeah.
It would be his first time.
I think Fritz has got to get him to second serve. And make sure that, listen, Novak's not the young chicken or spring chicken he was. See if he can extend the match and take advantage of some heavy legs.
Wow. Look, he gave the fifth point. Oh, he was ready. He was ready. Well done,
I will say
Daniel.
this, first time I've ever seen tennis in person, we got to watch Pegula and Alcaraz. Alcaraz could start on 25 teams as a middle linebacker running back. He's a ridiculous.
You think so?
Right?
You think
Oh
so?
my gosh.
At Flushing Meadows. I want to go to Sunday because we've talked a lot during the negotiation process with Dallas about this Micah Parsons back injury, which did not magically go away. He's still dealing with that even though he's a member of Green Bay. Where's his status at right now against the Lions?
Well, he's got a joint sprain in his back, and he may have to take an injection on Sunday to play in that game. He's certainly going to try to be out there. He's been back at practice, but the back has been an issue. The Cowboys prescribed medication for him. They had him on an extensive physical therapy program. And so all the people who thought he had a back tightness injury that might not be as tight as he thought, I think it's actually a legitimate injury. But here's the deal. When you sign a $188 million contract and your team trades 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark to get you, and you're playing your division rival Detroit Lions in a home opener, as a general rule, when you sign a deal worth $188 million, you play in the next game. And Micah Parsons is going to do everything he can to be out there, and I would be surprised if he didn't play on Sunday against the Lions.
Yeah, you mentioned the money that he's making. A lot of money right now. The Packers, the most bet team since Micah Parsons came over to win the Super Bowl.
There's another storyline that we haven't really talked a lot about this summer, and to lead all your updates around the league, Cam Hayward is a hold-in. What's the latest with the Steelers defensive lineman?
He has largely been an individual participant in practice, been away from the team, wants his contract readjusted like so many other players have had this offseason. Pittsburgh doled out all kinds of money. Now today, Mike Tomlin said he expects Cam Hayward to play in the opener against the Jets despite the contract drama surrounding his deal. We'll see if he gets any sort of incentives, but right now, Tomlin does think he'll be a go. As for the former Steelers running back, Najee Harris, whose team plays Friday night in Brazil against the Chiefs, He was back at practice in full today, listed as a full participant after suffering an eye injury due to a fireworks incident this summer. The fact that he was a full participant today tells you that he is tracking to play Friday night against the Chiefs. And the New York Giants had an interesting development on their unofficial depth chart today. Jackson Dart, their first-round draft pick, listed as the second-string quarterback behind Russell Wilson. That means Jameis Winston is number 3, and Jackson Dart is within closing distance of Russell Wilson, who will start Sunday's game against the Washington Commanders. But here's the deal. The Giants love Jackson Dart. They think they got their quarterback of the future. They're starting him out as number 2 on the depth chart, but that'll be one of the storylines of the season, how well Russell Wilson can play and keep the rookie at bay.
Yeah, keep in mind, too, the Giants are coming off a 3-win season. So at this point, it's like, okay, let's see what the veteran does here with Russell Wilson, and then let's go with the future.
That leash is real short. Adam Schefter, thanks for joining us here.
Only one phone.
I know. And he hasn't even been on it in like 5 minutes.
Oh,
It's been
man,
like 5 minutes. I know, we really, very good. Very good.
Okay, all right.
Teddy, 2 phones. Thank you, Shefty. From Dart to the